Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am super excited that you have joined me today on yet another beautifully magical day. If you can hear this in my voice, I am still a little scratchy. I came down with a little something, a little cold, a little scratchiness, a little sneezing and all the things. And it's interesting because I normally don't get sick. I am someone who can have people sneeze and cough in my face, and I'm usually A-okay. And this time, not the case. My little one caught a little bug and was coughing and sneezing in my face, and what do you know? Here I am with the same exact thing. And it's not that bad. No biggie. At the same time, it really creates a lot of reflection in me as to why my body allowed this to happen. Because we only get sick when it is necessary for our learning, for our growth, for our evolvement. And so when I reflect back on myself in the last few weeks, I see that I allowed myself to get into a little bit of a funk. I allowed myself to allow life to get the better of me. And I allowed myself to get irritated. And I wouldn't go so far as angry, but definitely allowed myself to stay in a state of irritation. And I knew it as it was happening, but I stayed there anyway, because there are times when there are things going on in life where I don't want to just fluff it away. It's never good to just fluff it away. If something is happening, then sit in it. And I love to sit in it. I love to sit in whatever darkness there is and just be in it, because there's a lot to learn from it. This is one of the greatest ways that we learn. And if we're not quite learning what we're supposed to, maybe we'll get sick on top of it to really throw that cherry on top to create some added examination. And I've learned to do this in my career because it has been my career. Ever since I was 3 years old, I remember I came into this life just wanting to help people heal. I knew when I was that little that this was going to be my job, that I just wanted to help people understand how to heal themselves, how to be healthy, how they can be optimally functioning. And so this is what I do for a living. But I've done this in so many different ways throughout my career. So I started off as a naturopathic physician, which I still am. I'm still a licensed naturopathic physician here in Arizona, and I intend to stay a licensed naturopathic physician here. But I don't actually practice naturopathic medicine in the way I used to years ago. I don't see primary care patients and do the whole naturopathic workup and all the things that's entailed, because when I did this, I noticed that it wasn't quite working the way I wanted it to. Me, and not just me, but the entire group of colleagues that I worked in a group practice. And it seemed that all the patients were kind of doing the same thing, even though these patients were all doing the things that we asked them to do. All the dietary changes, all the supplements, maybe they were doing IV treatments or things of that nature, acupuncture, you name it. And what I noticed was that a lot of these patients either stayed sick or cycled it in a different way. They would feel better, but then they would plateau, and it would just kind of stay. It would stay around. There was no real humongous improvement. Now, of course, there are success stories. And the thing about naturopathic doctors, if you don't know this already, is that we tend to see the cases that are the ones where the regular medical establishment has basically said, I don't know what to do with you. I don't have a diagnosis. I can't figure it out. I don't know how to help you. Go see somebody that maybe can look into it a little bit further. So we get these very difficult cases, and we do help these people. But what it winds up being in my mind and what I witnessed for years in practice, it winds up being a natural Band-Aid because the healing does not happen primarily in the body. The healing happens in the mind and in the spirit. We are a mind-body-spirit complex. Not one exists without the other. That means that the body isn't just doing its own thing without the mind and the spirit. It all works together as one. And the body is actually the low man on the totem pole. The body is the last one that really gets to decide. Everything that happens to the body is as a result of the mind. Whatever the mind has not processed, because everything comes to the mind first. Whatever the mind has not processed, then the body then has to. That's just the way it works. The body is like the furnace for the mind. It cooks whatever it is that's going on in the mind. And so when I reflect back on my last few weeks and I see myself reflecting and cooking and stewing in my mind, well, no wonder why my body did the same thing. If we are keeping ourselves in a very high vibrational state, which you might assume I do that all the time. Alas, I do not. I wish I, could say that I did. And of course, this is a learning process for all of us. We're all human here. And so we get in and out of our cycles. And so I would love to say that I'm perfect all the time, but I'm just not. I go in and out of my cycles as well. And when I do that and I allow myself to stew and get irritated, what I do is decrease my vibration, decrease my light, decrease the ability for my body to fight off anything that's coming my way. This is just how it works. If you imagine yourself like a bright light, and any little bug that comes, like a little moth coming to that flame, the brighter that light, the quicker that little bug is going to just get zapped. And it can't get close because that light is too bright. So the brighter your light, the further and further away these little things have to stay from you. When we allow ourselves to lower our vibrations or dim our light, then the ability for these little bugs and viruses and bacteria or whatever they are that may offend, it allows them the opportunity to come in and have their way with you, because honestly, we allow it. And of course, we're not allowing it consciously. We're not saying, yes, I invite you in, little buggies, to my system. Of course not. We allow it by allowing ourselves to stew and get ourselves into a lower vibration, because oftentimes we know better. And we don't know this so much as a society because our medical system doesn't see it this way. It's really hard to study this. It's more of an idea or an experimental thing. But it's really not, because we are just energy. Energy and light is all we are. And so it just makes sense. But again, we can't study this in terms of our science as we know it now. And so there are no hard facts and hard evidence to base this. Well, maybe there are in quantum physics, but we won't get into that. The idea is I see this now in my practice all the time, because instead of doing the naturopathic heal the body or try to heal the body with natural things, instead what I do is I help people understand why they are sick. And when you understand why, then the body can heal itself, because the body is such an incredibly miraculous machine. It knows exactly what to do. It's going to keep you alive and going for as long as your spirit says so. May not always be the easiest vehicle to be in, but that's also our choice. All of these things that the body is showing us, reflecting to us, is a message, is an idea that we are supposed to learn from and to grow from. We all came here to have certain experiences. for not having those experiences as we planned them, as our spirit had aligned, and we get out of that alignment, well, then our body comes and kicks us in the ass a little bit to put us in our place, to show us, hey, something is off here. It is such a beautiful reflection for us. It doesn't, again, always feel this way. Why has it got to be so hard being human? It's just the way it is. And really, when you think about it, it is an absolutely beautiful design because we absolutely need something to push us. If we didn't have these contrasts in our life, then we wouldn't have the growth that we really get out of all the contrast. The growth happens way more slowly without the contrast. So the body is such an important messenger in that way, to show us the contrast within our being. And ultimately, to help us to examine our mind and soul, because that is the whole point. We are here learning. You know, back in the day, we did live hundreds and hundreds of years. And the reason why we were able to live that long is because life was easier and we loved each other more. And we didn't have all of the stressors and the mental confabulations that we have now. And because life is harder now and because it's more stressful and we have so much piled up on us that we just can't take it anymore. Our soul's like, okay, had enough. That's enough for one lifetime. And so our lifetimes have gotten shorter and shorter as our lives have gotten harder and harder. And that's a beautiful blessing, I say, because can you imagine our lives continuing like this now for 200, 500, 700 years? That would be a lot. But hey, I love this earth. I really love it a lot. So I wouldn't mind staying here for longer than I need to. And it is possible. There are many reports of humans that are recent, that have lived hundreds and hundreds of years. And the reason why they're able to do that is because they are keeping their mind so clear and free and living in love and unity. And the disease process doesn't start to occur in their body, or the aging process doesn't occur in the body because the life isn't as stressful. It doesn't need to occur as soon because the life has been easy. And so the aging process is really a blessing because it gives us an opportunity to be done when it's time to be done. Now, these little sicknesses that we come across are also an opportunity to allow us to be done if it's our time to be done. But oftentimes, that's not the case. Oftentimes, it's a case for us to learn about ourselves and about where we have allowed ourselves to be, as it is in my case this week. I actually enjoy getting sick like this because I like to be like, look what I can do. Look what I allow. Look what I have the ability and the power to control, really. I know I allowed this. And that is such a beautiful thing. Because I know it, I can then recognize it more clearly next time. And maybe I'll make the same decision again and say, screw it, I'm going to sit in this darkness. I enjoy it. And that's okay too. Because it's an experience and it's all okay. It's always okay. All of these things that we're going through in our lives, maybe you have something going on in your body that is causing you physical distress. Take a moment, talk to your body. Ask it what it's trying to tell you. What is the message there? The one difference here that I will say is if it's something that you came into this lifetime with. If you were born with something that was affecting your physical body, then that was the soul's choice for the purpose of this experience in this lifetime. So that's a different ball of wax. But if you have experienced something or developed something within this lifetime, what it is a message. The body is such a beautiful messenger and will talk to you, and you can talk back. Have you ever tried? Just talk to it and then listen. Listen to the very first thing that comes to mind. Or pay attention to how your body's responding. What does it feel like? Are there any sensations anywhere? And what does that sensation mean? Ask yourself these questions. Ask your body these questions and trust the answers that you get. Very important to trust yourself. Trust the answers that you get. And the more practice you have with this, the easier the trust gets, I promise. And once you understand, and even if you don't understand, you can ask for healing. You can ask for help in bringing that light into your body to help and aid and assist in healing. We heal ourselves. There is no one that does this for us. Yes, I've said this a million times. There are healers and helpers out there that can guide us along this way. They don't do it for us. They offer us an opportunity. They offer an opportunity for us to grab that light and recognize it and say, yes, that is within me. I can brighten my own light. Now, your spirit is really the one saying that. You're not doing that consciously. At the same time, it is just an opportunity. You are the one healing yourself. So sit with yourself and ask yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to your body. Ask questions to your spirit and trust the very, very first thing that comes. I think that's all for today, everyone. I love you so much. I'm going to leave you with a song for today. This is Trevor Hall. You Can't Rush Your Healing. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Comes to me upon the strings when I hear it, well, I sing. I can't say it's my creation, staying patient what it brings. Let me say I'm coming humble, I don't know what's right or wrong. Just keep on believing, passing down an old song. An old song. Well, everybody's got that chapter of dark and darker days. Saturn seems to be returning and his essence can't be tamed. Some we like to fight it, try and plan a secret attack. But the more you push it, the more it's pushing you back. So you can't rush your healing. Darkness has its teachings. Love is never leaving. You can't rush your healing. Your healing. Mama will, she told me time is such a wonderful gift. You're not running out, you're really running in. Confusion clouds the heart, but it also points the way. Quiet down the mind, the more the song will play. So you can't rush your healing. Darkness has its teaching. Love is never leaving. You can't rush your healing.